Welcome to another edition of Completely Unoriginal. I'm Adam St. Paul.
Kurt Campbell here, and with us once again, Tony Zur. Welcome back, Tony.
Hey, thanks, guys. Good to be here.
Real quick before we begin, as we are recording this, it is the 25th of June, and that means a big happy birthday to our one and only Tony Zur down in Redfield.
All right,
So,
happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
happy birthday. What?
I wish we could give you a Terminator movie that isn't going to suck for your birthday, but unfortunately, that's not in the cards.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Doing anything for your birthday?
Honestly, not really. The wife's going to work, and I'm just I'm playing kid duty for the pretty much the rest of the day. So
Yeah.
but I'm gonna watch some movies with them and play some video games.
After 21, you don't really celebrate them anymore, really.
No, not as much. Actually, until you hit about 30, you still celebrate them with friends a lot more, and then
That
it
might be
starts.
true.
Then you just don't care so much.
Well, in 5 years though, in 5 years from today, I am going to be eligible to run for president. So
Hey!
Oh, congratulations! That's great.
I was thinking, my wife asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday, and I just said, go to Mavericks. I don't know.
That's usually what I do.
Just I don't really, it doesn't really matter.
I usually
much
like
anymore.
a big steak on my birthday. That's
Ooh,
something I
there you
love.
go.
So.
Hey,
I usually try to hit up a little league game because I used to coach little league ball, and I like going to little league games, especially with my boys and stuff.
That's cool.
there you go. So, not a ton of really earth-shattering news this week in the world of movies and nerd stuff and everything.
One thing, do we want to mention the new Spider-Man?
Well, we do. I don't even know who he is,
He's
though.
a British actor. His name is Tom Holland, and he's best known for playing Billy Elliot in the musical version of Billy
okay. I
Elliot.
was gonna say no, that's not Billy Elliot. What's his name? The Thing is Billy Elliot. The new Thing.
That's the stage version.
Yes.
So that's all. He's 19 years old, and that's all I know
I was
about
gonna
him.
say that was the one thing I've read about like the casting was kudos on Marvel for actually casting a teenager in a teenaged role.
Yeah, imagine that.
I have a beef with this. Because
right.
I'm looking, first of all, on IMDb. They need to get some updated pictures. Because there's one picture of him, like little stud muffin picture that's up there right now, and then the rest of them are like prepubescent, like 10 years old and stuff like that. So I need to see some more pictures. But like they wanted to get the Ender's Game kid. What was his name?
I can't remember. That.
I don't know. Is it Butterfield?
Yeah, Ozzy Butterfield.
Ensign Butterfield or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was kind of going with that because they wanted him, and he looks kind of like a nerd. That's the thing is like Peter Parker's supposed to be a nerd, and you had the guy from Amazing Spider-Man 2. God, I'm just bad with names today.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. Right. You had him, and he looks like a frat boy. And and then you got this kid, and I see his IMDb picture, and I'm like, he looks like a future frat boy date rapist or something like that. Like, I'm waiting. I want them to. They really need to geek him up for it because he's too pretty for me, man. But and then the Uncle Buck thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this.
Okay.
But I'm looking at his chin on my phone on the pictures, and I'm like, oh, he's got a cleft in his chin. No, it's a big mole. And I just, my mind constantly goes back to Uncle Buck, where he's like, take this quarter, go downtown, and have a rat gnaw that thing off. I'm sorry, that's just where my mind goes. So.
I don't have a large opinion on this. Call me crazy, and maybe I'll lose some nerd cred. I really don't care, but I'm just done. I'm just over Spider-Man.
You don't have to love every superhero to be a nerd.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying because people love Spider-Man. He is it for a lot of people, and a lot of people were super, super excited when he was coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I personally wish he would have stayed over at Sony just because I've enjoyed watching that train wreck that was the Amazing Spider-Man films.
I just think that Tobey Maguire, I don't know why they had to get rid of him. I just think
I think he was just done. I think he didn't want to do it anymore. I think.
Well, after 3, yeah, but I mean,
can I blame him?
I just think that a good like 2 or 3 more movies would have been nice with him in them.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I liked him as Spider-Man. I love Sam Raimi's movies up till number 3, and that one more and more you read about it and you hear about it, it wasn't his fault. But for me, it doesn't matter who they cast as Spider-Man. I think that I'm just kind of over it. I'm much more interested in other members of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I would much rather see Daredevil, like from the Netflix TV series, like have a much more prominent role in the MCU, which I think they are going to include him in Civil War, or they're going to include him somewhere down the line.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be much more happy to see that rather than Spider-Man, just because, like I said, I'm done with it. But
maybe they'll
go ahead, Kurt.
No, I was just going to say maybe they'll change your mind when Marvel puts him in there. Maybe they'll because
my expectations are going to be crazy low.
Yeah.
So
my thing is I really like. And I know you guys are probably going to roll your eyes when I say this, but I really like the Fantastic Four. Not saying I like the movies, but the original comics and everything. I used to read a lot of those, and I was really into the Fantastic Four. And then the two with Jessica Alba, because I don't remember anybody else that was in that.
Michael Chiklis. And
and Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's much better as Cap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, but I want to say that I'm excited for the new Fantastic Four movie, but I know it's probably going to just take a big old steam.
No, you are not excited for it. I will not allow you to be excited for that film on this podcast.
Adam has a vendetta against this film that is
hate
about
it
the size
so
of the moon.
See, I like movies. I like them bringing stuff to life because, even in crappy movies, there's sometimes little bits where you're like, that was awesome. Even if it's just that one thing that was awesome in it. I mean, I'm just such a movie lover that I just want it to be good, and I want it to honestly just kind of take everybody by surprise and be like, whoa, this is actually pretty good. And I'm probably wrong, but in my eyes, I'm excited for the notion of a new take on the Fantastic Four.
And Adam, you cannot take anyone to task over this because you went to the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
I did.
And you liked part of it, didn't you?
No.
You did like some of it.
No.
Yeah, you did.
You
said I kind of liked it.
I liked the moments where the turtles interacted with one another as turtles. Everything else was dumb, big, and
that's the little moments
stupid
that Tony was just talking about.
Yeah, so. Well, you know what? That's not going to happen in the Fantastic Four movie because the Fantastic Four movie is terrible and it's going to be bad. So
he's sticking to his guns, Tony.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. Speaking of awful movies, Terminator Genisys is getting terrible reviews on Metacritic.
17% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's up now?
Yeah.
Okay, because I checked before we went on a couple hours ago, and they still did not have the tomato meter up.
The tomato meter's right. That's where it is.
The tomato meter is up, and they had 4 reviews in, and they were all rotten. Apparently, they are continuing in that trend. My question is, why I understand why they keep giving us Terminator movies because it's easy to make a quick buck off it, but why do they insist on continuing the timeline? It's already messed up to heck. We've seen every incarnation of it. It's also the exact same movie every time. They send the Terminator back, the Terminator comes back. Either way, it's robots going back in time. That is the premise of the movie. Why not reboot it? Why not just, cast the guy that plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones, just that giant bodybuilder from Finland. I'm not even being facetious. Cast him as the Terminator and just start the whole thing over. I would much rather see that than a continuation of the films that we have so far.
My point on the Terminator is this. They need to stop with the John Connor crap. They need to make that a legend. That needs to be a legend. What they need to do, when it first dropped that Arnold Schwarzenegger was coming back for another Terminator movie, there was a part of me that sat there and said the only way that this is going to work is if it can even be a major role, but it has to be something along the lines of he's like a scientist that originally created one of the original Terminators, and he created it in his likeness.
Okay.
He's not the Terminator. He comes back as an actual human that had something to do with that. That would have been a cool arc to go with.
Actually, Tony, if I can interrupt, if you've ever seen Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, there is actually a deleted scene on the DVD that features Arnold Schwarzenegger running on a treadmill and stuff like that, and the scientists are around him. He's actually a general in the U.S. Army, which they model the Terminator after, or like one of the robots, Skynet robots, after him. It's super cheesy. It's super hammy, but they actually, I mean, it's deleted, so technically it's not canon.
No.
But they actually apparently thought of that at one point
because
or another.
there are so many Austrian generals in the U.S. Army.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they could have even used that and said that that was a clone made from the original, and he was they put him in the military to see what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that. But I think that nowadays what I want to see is different stories involving the after the apocalypse. It doesn't have to be anything about John Connor at all. They can tell the story in the movie. They can sit there around a campfire some night when they're hiding away from the machines or something like that. They can be sitting there saying, you've never heard of John Connor, and they can tell this little story and everything, but have it be somewhere else, doing something else, people that are actually involved in this besides just, it doesn't even have to have any time travel in it. You could just have a storyline somewhere else in the world during all of this chaos.
There could be a post-apocalyptic thing. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, they tried that with Terminator Salvation, and for the most part, the movie looked good, and the trailers were fantastic. I was actually pumped to see that movie, and then I went and saw it, and I was utterly disappointed. I like where you're going with it, Tony, and I guess I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I would, for me, I would just reboot it. Just why? I mean, they reboot everything in Hollywood. Why not go with this? Start it all over, and then you can tell Terminator, and then Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and you can even then ruin it with Rise of the Machines again. I am sick and tired of the time travel stuff. I agree with you, and I am sick and tired of just how convoluted, and if continuity matters at all, Terminator films should be ashamed of themselves. Let's just put it that way.
Right? I agree.
And by the way, I don't think we're giving enough love as we should to the TV series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, that was on Fox for about at least a season and a half.
I never saw it.
Ratings-wise, it didn't do great, but it's got Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, Cersei, as Sarah Connor.
She was in Dredd as Mama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was brilliant in Dredd. Yeah, mm-hmm. she's a fantastic. And in 300, the first 300 movie, she's very good. But she played Sarah Connor, and the young woman from Firefly, Summer Glau, played a female Terminator who came back to protect John, and it was a really good series for the most part. And it kind of gets neglected. It doesn't get the love it deserves. Unfortunately, but Adam, since you haven't seen it, I recommend trying to find it streaming somewhere if you can, or rent it cheap if you can, or buy it cheap if you can. I don't know, but it's a much underrated and a pretty excellent show, even if Brian Austin Green is in it.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch Jai Courtney butcher everything that I loved about Michael Biehn in the first one, and it's. Oh, I am so on the fence about Jai Courtney with this whole thing. I would have actually been a little tiny bit excited, kind of that inner me, but with him in it playing John Connor, the guy's like 6'3", man. And he's a huge guy, and like Michael Biehn was kind of like Kurt Russell, kind of the anti-hero and everything. So it's just
if you're going for realism, you're in the post-apocalypse, the earth is scorched, you're going to be scrawny because food is going to be scarce, and you're
not going to be a big beefy
You're not going to
guy.
be bulking up at all.
Well, we found this stash of protein powders that I've been bulking up on.
Yeah. John Connor's got me on. He found an old Total Gym.
P90X workout.
Yep, P90X in the post-apocalypse. Oh,
the P stands for post-apocalyptic.
Did you ever see?
Go back and save my mom.
Did you ever see Terminator Salvation, Tony?
Oh yeah.
What was your?
the best thing about that movie was the trailer with Nine Inch Nails song behind it.
Yes.
That was the best thing about that movie.
Now, were you as, and we're going to go into spoiler territory for those of our fans who have not seen Terminator Salvation. I guess turn us off right now, but I really think at this point everyone who wants to have seen it has seen it. But they say in the movie that John Connor is the number 2 target of the machines. Number 2. Not number 1. He's number 2. He's behind his father, Kyle Reese, who is a young man at the time. He's a teenager played by that kid that played Scotty.
Chekhov.
Yep, Chekhov. Thank you. Yep, Chekhov in the Star Trek reboots.
Anton Yelkin or
he's good. He's good.
Yeah, that was fine. I'm not criticizing his acting here. Point is,
he did a good Michael Biehn. He pulled that off.
Mm-hmm. Point is, so you got these giant robots that are non-thinking, non-breathing. Just get the job done, complete the mission. That's their only goal in life. A giant machine is grabbing people up, and it happens to grab the character of Kyle Reese, which is Chekhov, as he was saying, Anton. And he looks at him, figures out that it's Kyle Reese, and he's a giant machine, mind you. And instead of simply just squeezing him he's dead. I just squeezed him with my hand. We win. The machines win. They instead take him back to their facility and lock him in a cell and everything like that. And I almost in the theater in Fargo, North Dakota, where I was watching it, was about to go up and go, no, you can't do that.
Well, if you're thinking, the machines are probably calculating a lot of different things when they see him, and they probably think their main thing is to capture him, because they can probably use his likeness or something like that to cause more chaos and get their number 2 target then. They can use him to lure Connor in because they know that Connor's going to come to him.
You keep defending these terrible movies, Fantastic Four and Terminator Salvation, and I'm not going to invite you back on this show.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, you have to think about some variables, and that's one of those variables is the machines might have been dumb enough to actually do that, and that's
You know what? You crush Kyle Reese. John Connor's never born. Human resistance doesn't happen. Skynet takes over. All hail our robotic overlords.
Well, we can't because we're all dead, but we would hail them if they hadn't killed us.
Adam, I'm going to say one word in retort to that statement. Fatality. You got me.
Yeah, right.
Fatality.
Yeah, right.
No, seriously. You just squashed my theory right there.
Adam St. Paul wins.
I didn't think about it. Yeah, John Connor would probably just disappear and everything would.
That would be cool. I'd like to see how they would do that, and then Christian Bale would be yelling on the set. No, I ain't doing that. What don't you get?
When they cast him as John Connor, I was just kind of like, he's Batman right now.
He was super hot at that point. Yep.
Yep.
And I thought he was honestly just did a lot of, like you said, just a lot of yelling. I mean, even when he didn't have to, Connor! And you're like, well, you didn't have to yell that, man. And, yeah, he was really over the top, and the coolest thing.
He was. Please go ahead. Well, he was super intense. He was. I mean, I guess you are fighting killer robots in the post-apocalyptic future, but at the same time, I thought he was overly intense. Everything he said, it was yelling, and then at times he kind of reverted into the Batman voice a bit. So that's where he lost me.
It was really cool to see. I have to say, it was really cool to see John Connor take a Gatling gun to a Terminator's head.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was really, really awesome, and also, at the end of it, when the machine is on top of him, and he's like, "Do it, you son of," and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, do it, do it," come on.
And then there was also that contrived love subplot with the female pilot and Sam Worthington, who's a freaking robot, and that is my biggest pet peeve in movies, when you have the forced romance between two characters that just doesn't belong whatsoever. That movie, and then have you ever seen the movie Jumper, starring Hayden Christensen?
Oof.
It's in there as well. And Misha Barton is in it. Oh. No. Rachel Bilson. Rachel Bilson is in it, and they have the contrived I guess we got to fall in love because you had a crush on me when we were kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but the girl in Terminator, I just love her name in real life, Moon Bloodgood.
Yes, I saw that. I know. I was thinking the same thing.
That is a good name.
That is an awesome name. And so she can be in the Terminator movie, and she gets carte blanche.
she can be in my Terminator movie.
There you go. Okay.
So, anything else you guys want to add before we go?
I'm good. I plan to watch the first 2 Mad Max movies this weekend, the originals.
I did see Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World.
World.
Yes, and it's. I'm not gonna, because we're getting kind of long right now. I'm not going to go into great detail, and by now, if you haven't seen it, you know what it is if you haven't seen it yet, I guess. It's the best Jurassic Park sequel so far, I will say that, but it's still head and shoulders below the original. That's one there, Tony, that I wanted to hate. Oh, boy, I wanted to hate that movie, and kudos to them. They forced me to like it, so.
Well, that's good. That's awesome.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see it.
Exactly.
I was going to go today on my birthday, but I just couldn't make it to Aberdeen in time. So
no problem. Well, you'll see
there.
it sooner or later. So
I'll catch it on video at some point and have my 2 cents sometime next year, I'm sure.
That's going to do it for Completely Unoriginal. For Kirk Campbell and Tony Zur, I'm Adam St. Paul. Until the next time.